Deep within that stone, and shaken loose onto the beach by storms and landslides, was one of the richest collections of fossils in the world. Every summer, then as now, Lyme played host to a race of perambulators that, swallow-like, set out to ramble along the shore, to sift through the sand and the rocks and the coastline, and to collect specimens of seaweed and shells. In hosting these seasonal fossilists, as fossil hunters were called, Lyme stole a march on its neighbour Charmouth, where, as a very genteel village, inhabited by persons of small fortunes, would not condescend to take in boarders. For the people who lived the year round in Lyme, many of them working in mills on the River Lim, finding fossils and selling them to wealthy visitors was a vital means of boosting meagre wages. They hawked the ancient shells of ammonite mollusks, which they promised would cure blindness and impotence. The remains of the long-pointed squids known as belemnites were thought to confer similar benefits on horses. Besides these precious fossils, they sold fragments of ancient crocodile backbones as vertebraries, and romanticized other shells as John Dory's fingers, after the sailor of folklore. As this cottage industry bloomed, visiting collectors learned which locals to trust. The Irish doctor James Johnson advised one friend to call upon a confounded rogue by the name of Locke, and buy him a grog or a pint, a gesture of friendship that Locke would reward with first choice of all the crocodiles he may meet with. It was good advice. Locke's ability to divine curiosities had earned him the nickname Captain Curie. Johnson also recommended a person who collects for sale by the name of Anning, a cabinet maker, who enjoyed an equally solid reputation. This was Richard Anning, a bearded giant of a man who had moved to Lyme from the nearby village of Colleton, and who lived with his wife, Molly, and their children in a terraced house on Bridge Street, beside Lyme's jailhouse. Theirs was not an easy life. Besides the want, disease, and deprivation which blighted the lives of most British workers, Richard, as a self-employed artisan, was vulnerable to the caprices of his clients. In 1805 he lost the business of an especially notable customer, when Jane Austen, who was seeking to repair a broken box in her family home, scorned his quote of 5 shillings as beyond the value of all the furniture in the room together. Life was precarious in other ways. Living on the river, close to the seafront, the Annings woke one morning to find that the ground floor of their home had been washed away by an exceptionally rough sea.